Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to start talking about converting between radians and degrees. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to come up with some kind of conversion factor, or some kind of proportion, right? So here we go. So here is what we're going to do. So if we set up a proportion, well, we can use the central angle, right? So if we use the central angle in degrees, we're going to take that ratio with 180 degrees, right? So this ratio, the central angle measured in degrees to 180 degrees, right? That ratio should always equal what? The measurement of the central angle in radians to what? Pi radians, right? Because 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. So the central angle here should equal the measurement of the central angle in radians there. Now, we could have done 360 to 2 pi, but if we divide both sides by 2, we get the same thing, right? So this will work just as much, okay? So that gives us a way of converting between radians and degrees using this proportion, okay? Now, let's do some examples, okay? So let's do this. So let's take pi over 6 radians and 3 radians. Okay? And usually if these are central angles and there's no units, then it's assumed to be radians, right? But if you put, it would be RAD, right? RAD is short for radians, but if it's not written, it's assumed to be radians, okay? Because if it was degrees, we'd have the degree symbol, okay? So we want to convert these from radians to degrees. So we're going to use this proportion. So what happens? Well, if I want degrees, that means I want, in fact, let's do this. Let's just write degrees, and we'll just say radians, right? So I want to go from degrees, radians to degrees, then I'm going to solve for degrees, right? So that means what? Degrees equals the central angle in radians times 180 degrees divided by pi radians. So guess what? The radians here, so I'll put the central angle measured in radians divided by pi radians. The radians cancel out. I end up with degrees, and so of course it makes sense. The dimensional analysis confirms the results. So now all I have to do is plug in my radians here and here. So this is going to be pi over 6 times 180 divided by pi. Well, in this case, the pi's cancel because I can pull this out, and this actually becomes 180 divided by 6. 180 degrees divided by 6. Okay, because the pi's cancel. And so 180 degrees divided by 6 gives me what? 30 degrees. Okay, similarly, if I do the same thing, I use 3 radians, I get theta equals what? Pi sub r times 180 degrees divided by pi. And so now I just plug in 3. So it's going to be 3 times 180 degrees over pi. And so what do I get? Well, this is going to be what? So this is going to equal 540 degrees over pi. Okay, and the radians cancel, so I end up with degrees. And so what is 540 divided by pi? That gives 172 degrees, approximately. Oops. I think that's right. Yep, approximately 172 degrees. Now, what if I want to convert? Oh, you know what? I'll stop there. We'll do some more examples next time. Take care.